welcome to episode 9 of 8-Bit Bastards. And joining me this evening is...
Justin.
And...
Jacob.
And our special guest this evening is...
Eric.
Eric's filling in for Brad this evening. He is dead. I don't know.
He's
Killed
dead.
him.
Do we know where he is?
Yes, in a restaurant. He'd rather eat than do a podcast.
I thought you said Brandon.
No, I said Brad.
Ah, see, I was confused. You said, I thought, going to Ocala and eat at...
So you really thought Brad was dead, huh?
No. Okay, well, anyway. So Act 1, we'll talk about our games tonight. We got a lot of games to talk about. And then Act 2, we'll go into 30 minutes of miscellaneous crap. And as always, we let our special guest begin. Eric, tell me about Sanctum 2.
I should probably start with Sanctum 1, because they're comparable, but they're weird. If you've never played Sanctum 1, it's a first-person shooter tower defense game where you build towers, and basically they come and these monsters try to come and kill your core. Sanctum 2 kind of takes that and expands on it, obviously, because it's by an indie developer called Coffee Stain Studios. And before, the first one was just kind of a game. Like, it was pretty arcadey, it was just one level to the next, whatever. This one, they kind of add, like, this pseudo-story to it to kind of give it a bit more depth. Like basically, it's just bridge between levels. But instead of just big, bulky boxes now, they're like, the towers were just boxes that you would upgrade into. The second one has, like, more of a streamlined, stylish thing, and it's funny because you can actually die in this one. Before, you would just get tackled and like respawn or whatever, but in this one you can die, but you can accidentally kill yourself if you like place a tower because it like falls from the sky, and if you're standing under where it falls under, you're going to get hurt. The thing that caught me with it was not just because it was addicting, because building your friggin' stadium to do whatever you want. In the first one, you could upgrade weapons. Second one, you can't. Again, anyone who's played the first one will have to cope with that, because I wasn't a big fan of it. It kind of took away from the gaming. It's like the game itself.
Let me ask a couple questions here. What are you playing this on? PC?
PC, sorry.
Okay, it's a PC game. Do you know when the first one was released?
Oh, not a clue. Actually, I got it last year. I know.
2 years ago.
Maybe.
I think Sanctum 1 came out was about 2 years ago.
Yeah. It was gifted to me last year by some random dude on the internet.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, and then you bought the second one?
Mm-hmm. It was on sale today, actually, for 50% off.
So how much did you pay?
$15.
And that was on...
Steam.
Okay, so Steam summer sale, you got Sanctum 2 for $15?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, keep going.
It's a first-person game. There's a lot of like quirky little humor into it. Before, you were just kind of one obnoxious chick who, anytime you would gib a huge freaking monster with this giant beastie gun that is 6 times the size of you. If you don't notice it, but if you're playing multiplayer, you look over like, dude, is your sniper rifle really that big? It is like a mile long. And but every time you give someone, she'll be like, yeah, like, whoa, yeah, and she'll like scream or whatever. And if she gets tackled, like shit, or what a crap. And this one, they broke it up into 4 characters. Instead of just picking weapons, you've got the main character, who's like the badass chick stereotype, who just is your standard assault rifle. Then her like quirky little sister, who's all super playful and happy all the time, and she's got like the big beastie friggin' bazooka looking deal. Then the robot is a sniper. I don't know why they thought that would work well, but whatever. Like, it's a style choice. And then like the rough and tough, like I'm the cool guy as this shotgun, basically. And you choose your character, and then the difference in this one too is that you level up. There's a leveling system, and with each level you can add more towers, because in the start of the game you can only pick like one tower because it's kind of a tutorial, and then you just kind of naturally level up and get more towers. The other thing, and the difference between the first and second one was the monsters. There was like 10 different monsters that you would have to shoot in different ways or deal with. They were just kind of dumb in the first one. They would just walk and melt right into your core that you're protecting. In this one, they will aggro you, or you get like NPCs that'll help you to hold them back too. When they die, it's not anything big. But then when they get to the core, instead of just kind of melting into it, they beat on it, so you actually have a chance to stop it. And it's a really good time kill for like if you just kind of want to do some shooting without without actually playing like Call of Duty or whatever and dealing with other people. If you just want to let off some steam, no pun intended.
That was good. So a couple questions about the game. Is it PvP, PvE? Are you doing a campaign?
Like I said, the first one claims to be a campaign, but it pretty much is just more of a bridge Like there's like oh no, they're attacking our base and now it's expanding to the city. And I've only played the second one for a couple hours because I just got it today. But it's more, I guess, to just give it a little bit more depth.
You're protecting the Sanctum.
Yeah, more or less.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's the plot.
It's pretty straightforward, and it's not inherently PvP. You can screw over your friends, like, because guns will have, like, blowback, and you can actually shoot them and send them flying off into the unknown and friggin' have to respawn.
So is it online all the time?
No, well, through Steam, I don't think so.
No, I mean, like are you, like, in an MMO type world?
No, it's like, just you and 3 other friends. It's
server-based?
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
so it's those 3 people, and you play one round, and then it stops, and...
like 10 waves. 10 or 20 waves, depending. At least that was the first one. I haven't played any multiplayer in the new one yet, so...
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
What you said that there are, like, upgrades and stuff. What are the different type of units you have? I know, I'm trying to think, like, this is a first-person tower defense, like, StarCrafty type game or something.
Like your Army of
Darkness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a side scroller though.
Yeah, mine was a side scroll. I'm very confused.
I'm having a hard time visualing this.
I concur.
Okay.
It's constant waves of your minions, right?
No.
Okay. Just one constant wave of minions coming at you, and you got to build defenses to keep it out.
Basically, there's...
Is this League of Legends?
No. It is not nothing like that.
Did.
To run down, like, a quick game for you, you start with, so at least in the second one, you start with, like 8 tower units that are just basic blocks that will reposition where they're going. Because basically, you got your core on one end, enemies coming from the other end, and then, like, this open area that you have to try to take them as long as it takes to get to the core, like a tower defense.
What's the core? Is that where
That's what you're protecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your big blue glowy. It's literally just a big giant blue ball.
Okay. Does it provide anything for you? It just...
Nope.
You're protecting your giant blue balls.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so in the beginning, you start with like 4 or 5 units of tower, and then of blocks, and then you get separate tower defense, which is different to the first one too. Before you just had like a number of resources, like 500, and a block would cost 2, and then an upgrade would cost 10. But this time they segregated that. And the weapons you get for the towers are like. You can get just a straight up Gatling gun, a laser tower, or a lightning tower that will shoot lightning and like kind of stuns them a little bit. From what it seems like, it seems like a lot of them are coming back from the first one. There's something called a Violator, which is legitimately just it's a slow firing weapon, but then all of a sudden just poof, like huge laser beam hits something from like across the map.
You've been violated, girly man.
Exactly. There's the Violator and the Penetrator. Those are probably my 2 favorite towers.
Of course they are. You got to keep this PG for Jacob, though.
Right.
He's a little bit of a prude.
And honestly, when I'm playing with my friend, he handles the towers for the most part. My favorite part actually is the you can put like floor upgrades. At least in the first one you could. Hoping in the second one. This is going to be kind of Sanctum 1 and 2. Because there were also like you could put slow fields, which were really cool in the first one because it would also slow you down and the music would slow down and like all the sound effects and you walked into it. It just kind of made it more fun.
When you're playing, like, is it like you're playing like a Call of Duty? It's literally first person you're running and just shooting other minions?
There's 2 phases. There's the build phase and the defense phase.
Okay.
So yeah, like running through, you got your minion, the minions that are attacking, which there are some the big ones, the tanky ones, the ones that you can only shoot in the back of the head. Some that are just legitimately tanks. Like the big tanky ones are just kind of bigger versions of the little guys. Then there's ones that are called soakers that are these ugly looking like insect things with a giant glowing hump on their back, and the more you shoot it the bigger it gets and the more damage they take, and then they explode.
So you said there's 2 phases. So in phase 1 is like a top-down God's eye view, and you set the battlefield of where you want all your defenses and your turrets and everything.
It's all in first person. It's like you have a mini map. But you're basically running around and you place a tower and you lay it out. So then you got all your blocks laid out in whatever way you want with the resources. Then you put a weapon, probably like the first run, you'll put just like 1 tower actual weapon down like on. Then you hit enter. A wave of 3 or 4 starting out. Dudes will come up like just these walking beastie looking things, and you can shoot at them and the tower shoot at them. That's where it kind of comes in. So it's a first person tower defense. So it's more engaging because you get to kind of blow them up while the towers are going at it. And
So the towers are just assisting you.
exactly.
Now, you lose if your main hero dies that you're controlling?
No, you respawn. You lose if your core goes down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you kind of have it backwards, too. It's more you're assisting the towers. Generally, the towers will probably do more damage.
Right. So now when you put them down, I played a few tower defense games. You place the turret or the tower or whatever. Is it a generic one that costs 5 blocks, and then you click on it and you can turn into a flamethrower one for another 3 blocks, or you turn it into the penetrator for another 10 blocks?
That's how the first one worked for the most part. This one, again, they segregated it to where you have, say, at any given point during a wave, because you break it up into waves. So after you fight 3 or 4 dudes with your blocks, then you get another chance to upgrade some more. And basically, crap, I totally lost my train of thought.
This sounds a lot like Trenches. You play that on the Xbox 360? It was called something else, and they had to change the name because somebody had a patent on the name or had claim to the name. And you're a giant mech, and you put down the turrets and stuff, and you could put down the flamethrower one or the Gatling gun one, but you controlled the mech, and you kind of assisted them, and you had to protect your base. Sounds a lot like that. But it wasn't first person, it was third person. You were, the camera was behind the giant mech. And you could upgrade your mech and stuff, but you said you couldn't upgrade the characters.
Not like you could in the first one. In the first one, you could push shift and upgrade your weapons. This one, again, it's a leveling system.
Do you like it better than the first one, or...?
I think I do. I don't know. I've only played it for a couple hours on the new one. So the first one, I'm going to make a kind of off-the-wall comparison that I like to make. I'm going to compare these two to Castlevania 1 and 2. Castlevania 1 was all about skill, and you just doing everything you can to get to the end of the game. Castlevania 2, you had to level up and made parts of the game easier. I usually like the first version better, to where it's just you, and whatever you want to level up, that's how you play the stage. This one seems like it's going more of a grander scheme to make you feel like you're progressing more instead of just kind of this arcadey sit down play game, okay, you're done feel.
So it's giving it that RPG element.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially with the new characters that kind of interact with each other a little bit.
Can you download the first one on Steam also?
Yeah.
So would you recommend playing the first one at all, or just jump into the second one?
Either or. It depends on your playstyle. I've already explained, basically if you like a leveling system and you like working your way up and you feel like a story would make the game a little bit better, or just feel better as a game, then go for the second one. If you just want to sit down with some friends and blow up some dudes and try your luck with different strategies, then just go with the first one.
What kind of art style is this? How are the graphics on it?
Tron.
What's that?
Kind of like Tron.
Yeah, the first one kind of had, maybe not like Tron Legacy. I don't want to compare it to the first Tron either. It is very video gamey,
very digital.
Yeah, very digital looking. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Like abstract. You're just kind of in this floating island of trees and stuff or whatever. The second one, they added a lot more bloom and just gave it a better engine. It looks prettier, but the art style in general is kind of generic, to be honest. I don't know if you've ever played the Wii game, it's Outbreak or something. It was literally, it was a first-person shooter with bugs for the Wii U or for the Wii only, and it was basically just generic. The characters look kind of cool now, but the first one was definitely more of a generic feel. This one, they're trying to flesh it out.
Now, as you move, are there different maps that make it a little bit more difficult or challenging or change it, or is it always the same?
Oh no, it's different every time, depending on the map.
Do you get to pick the map, or...?
If you're playing multiplayer, at least in the first one you could. I haven't played multiplayer yet, but in the first one you could pick the map, and there was DLC that, it seemed like they had some sort of thing going on with Yogscast. I don't know if you guys listen to Yogscast or watch them. They're two British dudes that got really popular with Minecraft. But I'm guessing that they probably reviewed Sanctum 1 sometime on YouTube, and so they had something set up to where you could get a free DLC map called the Yogs Cave. And there was also one of my favorite maps, actually, Christmas Carnage. You'd see Santa Claus flying over the map, and there's presents. Or your towers, instead of just gray blocks, were presents. And then you could. So the first one was way DLC heavy, and I get the feeling that the second one's going to be as well. But yeah.
Any more questions on Sanctum 1 or 2?
No.
So would you suggest $15? Is it worth it?
It depends on how much who you are. I honestly think it is, for me personally, because if I want, I'm not a big first-person shooter guy in general, or first-person perspective. I don't even like games like Metro or Half-Life or anything like that. It's just my personal thing because I'm a retro gamer.
I think for somebody that likes RTSs and games like Dota and League, who also kind of like first-person shooters, I think it's perfect.
Probably.
You mentioned it.
There's a lot less.
First.
There's a lot less on teamwork in
Of course, yeah.
for the most part. You can play it single player, but it almost could be sort of party game-ish too. Like I could see 4 guys sitting like LAN partying, like yelling at each other, you know, having a blast playing it, probably drunk with pizza, you know, or whatever. But yeah, I would suggest it if you generally, like, if you don't feel like playing like Call of Duty or Team Fortress. I don't know why you wouldn't want to feel like playing Team Fortress. It's a good game. Like, it's a lot of fun. Gibbing enemies is really satisfying. It's a really gamey feeling game, like arcadey feeling, kind of a modern reinterpretation of like the arcade feel.
Well, there you go, from our special guest Eric the Red, who does all of our awesome artwork. He says get Sanctum 2 for $15 on the Steam sale if you like that type of game. We're gonna move into Jacob's game, Guild Wars 2.
I'm hooked. I'm loving this game.
You're hooked for how long? A week?
I'm hooked for good.
For good.
Doesn't he always say that? I'm hooked.
No, this is like my
hooked.
new League of Legends.
I'm hooked. This is my new...
I play League of Legends like crazy.
I'm hooked on Star Wars. I'm hooked on League of Legends. I'm hooked on Guild
I played
Wars.
Star Wars for like 8 months.
I know, and you played...
That's not a long time. I spent years on World of Warcraft. There were
Okay,
years.
you cannot compare those two though. With Star Wars, it's 8 months, and you're like, well, I'm done.
So...
WoW, there's a lot in WoW.
Aren't they releasing new content though for Star Wars still?
No,
I get
nothing
emails.
good.
Doesn't matter. That doesn't mean they're not doing it.
Right, but still nothing enticing.
People
me to
can
come
argue
back.
World of Warcraft. Some of the expansions weren't that good.
Of course.
The same, but people still played them.
Right, but people aren't playing Star Wars and people are playing WoW.
That's true.
So tell me about Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2 is a very fresh take on MMOs. I played an engineer. The creative character is pretty cool. I'm playing a Norn, which is basically a Nord. Like the first boss you fight, his name's a Solmir. So obviously it's Nord. I should have just called him Nord. But made an engineer. It asked me what was my favorite tool. I picked like a multi-tool thing. There's a lot of stuff you pick, like where you come from, the things that your characters are into that will influence the story later.
Okay, so tell me what type of game is this?
It's an MMO.
Okay, so it's going to look just like WoW?
It looks prettier.
Okay, so it's upgraded graphics
Yeah.
like WoW, but it's guilds and it's always PvP?
No, we're on... I don't think there are PvP servers. We were pretty much dumped into a server because a friend of ours plays it already, and he's in one of the top-ranking guilds, so we pretty much had to pick that server.
So you just go around and mash 1, 2, 3, 4 like we did in WoW?
Not really.
Is it just like basically another MMO? It's another Rift. It's another WoW.
It is, but it isn't, because you have 5 weapon abilities. You have a healing ability. You have 3 utilities and elite skill. And the thing is that, unlike your WoW, you hit guys and you block automatically, you evade automatically. You can actually dodge in this game.
So it's not dice roll. You could literally just run out of the way.
It's dice roll and it's running out of the way. See, I play an engineer because, well, your attacks are dice rolls because you have crits and all that stuff.
Okay. See, okay. I was going to say, how could it be evasive
I
and
gotcha.
dice rolls? Like, no.
If you evade, you evade.
Yeah, okay.
So if I jump out of the way literally when somebody's swinging, it's not going to hit me?
Right. Well, first of all, I use Blunderbuss, which is my AoE. I use my Overcharge Shot, which knocks me back, and I normally try and do that when they're about to attack, so I evade. Knocks them back, knocks me way back. I shoot my net, which stuns them. So I attack him a few times. Once he gets close, I use my double AoE, which I jump up and then land. Both of them are in AoE. I try and catch him in both.
They sound hunter, and why I use WoW because
definitely is.
They basically are hunters.
Then you have utility skills, which you unlock. One thing I really like, when you level up, you get an ability point. But you can also go throughout the map and do challenges to unlock skills. So you get extra skill points put into your abilities. So the engineer, I have quite a few utilities. The one thing about the engineer is really cool, a lot of his utilities are new weapons. So I have a utility as a flamethrower. Press the button, gives me 5 new weapon abilities. I have a grenade kit. Press the button, gives me 5 new weapon abilities. So replace those 5 rifles. Then you have mines, And then for every utility skill, you also, for the engineer, have one on your tool belt. So when I use my rifle turret, it gives me a new skill on my tool belt, which is a belt shot. Shoot the bullet out of my belt very quickly so I can give him an extra attack.
Are you fighting one-on-one here, basically? Because keep saying them. Are there, like, no mobs?
Right
like,
now, because I'm in the noob area, it's mostly one people.
So it's you versus one other person.
Yeah, for the most part. And then there's some enemies like wolves that summon other wolves, and you end up in a fight with a bunch. Me and my buddies are starting to... You don't have a first dungeon until level 30, which is pretty high.
What's the level cap?
Super high.
80.
80's the level cap?
You level up pretty quick. I started playing like 3 days ago, and I got a level 17 engineer, level 7 guardian.
Now, did you do like a recruit a friend or something, or just... How did you hear about this game? Why did you start playing it?
Because a buddy of mine plays it.
Guild Wars has been out for a long time. It's been
Guild
out
Wars,
for...
yeah, Guild Wars 1, yeah.
Well, even Guild Wars 2 has been out for a little bit, about a year now.
Is it really?
I think, if I'm thinking
okay,
right.
the first patch, like you were saying, they come out with little patches with January, so probably about 5 months before January.
Alright, my question is, because I've got a buddy who plays it way out, like we Skype all the time, and he's trying to get me to play it. He actually legitimately suggested it to me, because he's even more critical of a lot of games he plays, and he hates MMOs. He hates them.
I do for the most part, too.
But the thing is that he says, like, there's a lot less emphasis on the grind. There's actually, I've heard there's like platforming.
Yeah, they're jumping puzzles.
There's platforming and puzzles and stuff like that in there, which I don't see. Like, I play Final Fantasy 14, and
I'm gonna have to disagree on the no emphasis on grinding, because you do still kill a lot of creatures over and over again.
But is it more skill based than a standard MMO?
Only because of the evade thing.
All right.
Well, grinding when it comes to MMOs does this. You don't really grind anymore. Like
That's a
in
really
WoW,
dirty word for MMOs.
Yeah, you don't grind out a level. You just go do quests.
Yeah,
Boom, level,
right,
quest,
yeah.
level, quest, level.
So what are like the quests and missions? Is it still just fetch quests, same old song and dance?
Guild Wars has put a huge emphasis on group. If you have more people run, like Defiance, if you have more people run up, it becomes more difficult, you get more experience. There are group events that pop up all the time, just like Defiance.
Okay, but explain these group events, because Justin and I would play group stuff, but it was the same thing. Go through the dungeon, kill this bad guy, get the loot, be done.
Yeah.
Or go get these 5 mushrooms, bring it back to this lady, she'll give you experience and give you this item. Is it anything new, or is it the same?
The quests are the same. You'll be wandering around, it'll say, new event available, and down the road there'll be a guy trying to take meat to the next town. You have to protect him. So you show up, a couple more people show up, it becomes more difficult, you get more experience, he gets to the end, you...
Does this have a pretty big community? I mean, just why not go play WoW?
I don't know. WoW didn't do it for me. I know that sounds bizarre, because a lot of people like WoW, but...
You have no reason not to like WoW.
This just sounds even more generic than WoW. Like, WoW is the standard of generic MMOs, and this sounds even more generic-y, and that's not even a word.
I mean, all the utilities make it a lot of fun. I don't know what to tell you.
I just don't understand what's unique about it.
I get the feeling that if you were to say that it just sounds more generic-y, there are a lot of people who play it who could explain it a lot better than Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only level 17.
This is not a generic game, because again, my friend who hates MMOs, I've tried to get him into Final Fantasy 14, which is a pretty good MMO. He's tried to play WoW. We've done some Nexon, like Dragon's Quest stuff and whatever, or Dragon's Nest, and he hates MMOs, and he legitimately enjoys it. Like, he is someone much like me who really enjoys just a straight up fun game, just something that may feel a little arcadey at times, but as long as you're enjoying yourself, then it's a good game. It's not so much about the story for him.
Is Guild Wars more of a solo thing? Like, you don't have to have a group? You don't have to do anything?
Yeah, you can do everything solo. I did like level 14 solo, which is now, I got my buddies to play. One thing that I haven't got into with Guild Wars is the PvP in the world versus world. From what I understand, once you get to level 80 and you start doing world versus world, when you gather materials, you're gathering materials for your world to build armies to send to other servers. And then you get into these huge epic battles, and then when you do that, you level up your world versus world character that makes you do more damage to this, and that. You can level up different ways to make yourself do more damage to mercenaries was one of the things I saw.
Now, this sounds unique and interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't got into that yet. That's that's why I'm like really grinding because I want to find out what that is.
That's not called grinding. What you were doing there.
One of the neat things
I
about
guess you could call that grinding. That's what the kids call it nowadays.
One of the other unique things about it is there are no healers and no tanks in the game. No traditional, at least. I'm playing my Guardian, and
how do you make it through a dungeon? Like how does that
work? I'm going to explain. There are no traditional. Everybody heals. That's why I said number 6 is your healing utility. So, like my engineer, I either have an elixir I drink, and it heals me, and it gives me swiftness, might, or regeneration. And then my other utility is I bandage myself, or I can drop bandages for everybody and antidotes, but everybody has some kind of healing ability. The Necromancer can drop a blood well that everyone can stand on and heal. So everyone's a healer.
Like Defiance.
Yeah.
Because you said it had an emphasis on, like, groups, which would make sense because it's guild
wars.
But it does seem like it is catering a little bit to the casual people who don't want to spend hours and hours, because then you've got your own heal and you can still play your tank or warrior class more or less. And
then, like my Guardian, which the other neat thing is your weapon skills. My Guardian can use a sword, a greatsword, a staff, a scepter, a torch, or a focus. I can use any combination of those with the exception of the staff and the greatsword are two-handed weapons. And you have 3 abilities for the one-handed, and then 2 for your offhand, 5 for your two-handed weapons. So, like, my staff, my basic attack is an AoE. My second ability shoots an orb, but if I explode it early, it's a big AoE, and it heals anybody that it's in.
Sounds like it's very intense. I mean, you just couldn't hit. I mean, unless you had macros, I guess, programmed into your mouse or something. It sounds like you'd have to be on the ball, changing stuff up, and
a little bit,
because you're changing your class on the fly almost. Is what it sounds like.
You can.
Well, that's what my question is. Is it like that? Like you have a weapon, a button for your sword, a button for your staff. You switch.
You have 2. The engineer, when I was telling you can switch the utilities, flamethrower, and all that stuff. He doesn't switch. He just switches through his utilities. My Guardian, my staff is more of a damage ability. Or a damaging weapon, so I switch between that and my mace, because every 3rd strike with my mace puts an AoE heal on me. So everybody around me gets healed. And it has a couple others that heal, or protect, or burn. And then, of course, you have your utilities with the Guardian. One utility I have is a Spirit Hammer that just kind of attacks people. And then I can use another ability that just knocks them on their ass for 3 seconds.
Can I ask a couple questions real quick? Things that are important here. Price?
$30 right now on Amazon.
So you have to buy the game first of all for $30.
It's $50 normally. No subscription fee.
Free to play.
Right.
After you buy it. So there has to be microtransactions somewhere in there.
Nothing necessary.
But there are microtransactions in the game to buy
clothes, buy cosmetic stuff, buy experience boosts. That's it. Nothing necessary.
Well, that's the same thing like Defiance. You don't have to buy a damn
absolutely.
thing of those.
Now, I think you can turn your gems, which is real money, into gold. That's the only thing I see where people could get an advantage.
So when you spend real money, you get things called gems, and then you can turn those into whatever you want, kind of.
Right.
And you buy pretty clothes that have just aesthetic, no actual impact on stats.
I guess there's something in the game, events like Christmas and Halloween, where you buy costumes and you go to cities and you... Because there's achievements in the game. Achievements are a huge part of the game.
Now, of course, there's achievements.
But the nice thing about the achievements is you're working towards something. Like,
what do you get if you get achievements?
Well, first of all, I got 100 points worth of achievements, so I got a chest. I got an experience boost. I got,
Everything has achievements. Magic the Gathering, the card game, now has
really
achievements. Can you believe that? The new set came out, and they gave out these little cards for achievements.
Really?
Yeah.
You check off if you beat so and so using this whatever. You literally have a checklist.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel sorry for like D&D version 5 then at this rate.
It's gonna have achievements. D&D 5 will have achievements.
And then you have your daily achievements, and if you complete 5 of those, you get a chest full of stuff. You have a monthly achievements. If you complete 4 of those, you get a chest full of stuff. It's just to get stuff.
Yeah. Stuff. What's the storyline? You said it does matter who you pick in the beginning, but...
Your personal story. So far, right now, for the Norn, it's the Great Hunt. My character killed a Solomir, which was some super beast. So he's now known as the Slayer of a Solomir, and I'm going against in a tournament against other legends of my people. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm going against legends of like other people. I've fought some Char, which are like the beast of the game, pretty much. Now I got to go to the finals to fight those people. So far, that's what I know of the story. My buddy that plays a human, he said that while he was creating his character, I think he said that he never found his parents or something. There's 3 different options. Either your sister died, was killed by someone, and you never went to get her body, you never met your parents, or you turned down a opportunity to go in the circus. Exactly. That was my feeling. Like, wait, what?
No, my friend who started a character, he was having fun with that. He's like, how do I make this the most cliche thing in the world? Like, city burned down, parents died. Like he was just
join circus.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that really threw me off. And I think he chose that he never found his parents. So at some point in the story, that comes up, and that changes how he goes through a certain instance in his story.
Is it all text-based? You have to read all of it?
No. Actually, the story is all voiced.
Voice acted.
Mm-hmm.
How is it good?
Yeah, it's just fine. And there's choices in the game through your story. Like, I was playing my one buddy has a thief and, like, a little gnome-type character in the game. And I went in the instance with him, and apparently this girl went into a golem because the gnomes in that game are, like, super technology advanced, and melded her mind to the golem, so they had to either rip her out of it or add the other guy to a golem so they could be together forever. And he chose to extract her. So that was something he could have gone the other way and changed the story. And
this game has been out about a year. Justin looked up. How are the specs for a computer on this? Because you have a pretty nice machine.
I got a pretty nice computer, and it looks pretty nice. I think mine are on mid, and it looks really nice.
So, would you have to have a top-end PC to play this? Because almost anybody can play WoW, but if you want to play Star Wars, you have to have a decent computer.
I'd say you'd have to have a decent computer. I haven't looked up the specs. I'm not entirely sure.
You just bought it without looking it up?
Yeah. I have a pretty nice computer.
Bold move.
Yeah, bold move. My computer king shit.
My computer can run Skyrim. Why can't it run Guild Wars?
Skyrim. All right, so we're done with Guild Wars 2. Put a nail in it. Playing it forever. He's hooked. Justin, tell me about Monster Hunter 3.
Monster Hunter 3, you can buy it on Wii U or 3DS. There's a pretty solid following. I played it on PS2. I didn't have my network set up for my PS2, so I never actually played it with people. It's still pretty close to being the same thing.
Doesn't Monster Hunter have a pretty big following, I thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, even here, it's a pretty big following. It was fun for me. I enjoyed it. I don't think you can play it just on the tablet. You have to have TV. You have to use kind of both. The bottom's your map and kind of figure out. You can switch through your menus and use your whetstones to sharpen your blades, because if you attack too much, your blades will get dull, and then it takes you more to kill something.
Let's back up real quick here. This franchise has been out quite a while. Let's pretend some listeners have never played a Monster Hunter, so they're getting it for their Wii U or their 3DS. $30 or $60? 30 or 50?
Yeah, I got mine off Amazon for $35 brand new.
Okay, so what type of game is this?
It is a third-person adventure hack and slash.
It's almost an MMO, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, to a point. I actually haven't. You don't just run into strangers. You have to invite people. Mm-hmm. In my world that I was playing, I didn't see a soul. Like, I didn't see anyone running around or anything like that. So it's more of kind of an invite thing. It's not like you play Defiance or WoW in the beginning area and there's hundreds of people running around. Like, it's just me by myself.
Without being on board.
Yeah, essentially.
And isn't there a version of it out for Wii? Like the original Wii as well?
I don't know.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's Monster Hunter Tri and the Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate for the 3D and Wii.
That might be it.
I almost bought it. One of the guys who worked at the game store convinced me not to, because I think there's a whole lot of this, slashing. And it's a really long game, though. So you just kind of get tired of having to do that.
It's not just that. What I found the problem is like if there's like the first set of monsters I fought, a lot of dinosaur-esque. They were like pretty much little raptors, and if I would miss my swing, it's not like I could pivot and to start swinging the opposite way towards them. I have to finish my swings, then turn around or evade or roll back to them. Like you start hacking, you're just going to continue in that direction. With the way the controls are set up, you can pull out your weapon, you can sheath it, attack. But let's say you down a monster, you don't just automatically sheath it. Your blade is out until you manually sheath it. And then if you have to, gut a monster pretty much, you hack at it, and get your loot from it, and then you can build stuff from there.
Yeah,
So you said you're playing on the tablet and the TV. Are you using a Wiimote also?
I'm using the tablet controller.
Just that.
Just that.
Okay.
There's no literal like arm hack and slashing. I don't think I would never play a game like that. So.
That's why I didn't get the one on the Wii. Because they just said you get really tired.
That sounds miserable.
I'm sure, but this one, you bash X or A,
Yeah.
you do your combos. Like I said, the combos are kind of hard. I wouldn't say hard to pull off, but like I said, if you miss and you bash the button 3 times, you're going to finish those combos before you stop, turn around, and continue fighting. There's no lock-on system.
Okay, so to me it sounds like it almost does have a classic MMO feel to the battle system, to where you're just kind of attacking, and you can't like back out of it. And from what I hear, it is obviously it's Monster Hunter. There's a huge emphasis on fighting huge freaking monsters. Now, the premier game, at least back in the day, for giant fighting was Shadow of the Colossus. Is it as engaging as Shadow of the Colossus?
Not that I've gotten so far. I haven't seen anything, crazy big yet. I mean, in Shadow of the Colossus, things were, 10 stories tall. You'd climb up it. I don't think you can climb monsters in this one that I've seen. You just pretty much hack out their legs or hack, something like that. I watched a couple of streams on Twitch, people doing stuff like that, and they were giant monsters, and they were just hacking at them. They weren't like jumping on their backs, slashing out their backs or anything like that.
So it's realistic, quote unquote.
It's a dinosaur. You hit a dinosaur 3 times. I mean, obviously it's the weaker ones, but they just fall over and die.
Can you imagine a multiplayer Shadow of the Colossus where it takes multiple people?
That would be amazing. It would be fantastic.
Write that down. Somebody develop that.
Someone make it happen.
Make it happen.
A Colossus big enough to where it actually has almost like rooms on its shoulder, and you're fighting off minions. I think you did that in Shadow of the Colossus.
I don't
You
think
had to
there were-
fight off little minions.
Nope.
It was only big thing. You only
Nope.
fought the actual colossi.
There were no minions. There were no little baddies to kill. You only basically everyone was a boss fight, and that was it.
It was nothing but a
I
giant boss
played
fight.
it at Game Zone. That's how long ago I played it.
That's been a while.
So Monster Hunter, you level up.
Yes. I honestly didn't see anything. I played for about 2.5 hours. What I did in it is you start off in a village, and there's pretty much a giant monster in the ocean out of a little, fishing village, basically, is where you're at. And it's pretty much terrorizing the town, and you have to help build the town back up because it's destroyed stuff, and then you go fight it. I haven't got a chance to fight it yet, but I'm collecting resources, helping them rebuild pretty much their area. So I go out, kill a bunch of stuff, bring back the resources, and then that's it.
Is this the stereotypical story of you're the young orphan boy in the town, and you?
Nope, you're a hunter. You are a hunter. You are in the town to hunt monsters.
Do you get to pick your name, who you are, what race you are, anything in the beginning?
The character creation is kind of weird. It's very basic. Pick your face, pick your male, female, pick your hair, pick your beard, and that's it.
Bearded female?
I didn't try, but maybe.
So to say,
It's a Japanese game.
picking your beard was a pretty new thing. Like Skyrim, I don't think you could do that before. So that's
The thing is, you don't pick a beard or pick multiple beards. Either you have a beard or you don't. It's one or the other. It's not like you get a mustache or a goatee. You get a beard or nothing.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, beards are awesome. Don't get me wrong. Beards are cool and all, but I can't really grow that great a beard. I'd like the
You're just
man.
mocking people. You could grow a beard.
Yeah, I can.
The main thing of the game is pretty much making weapons, and you make awesome weapons, you make awesome armor, and you make them from the pieces of the monsters you kill. You can buy them, yes, but you're going to craft stuff better with the crap you find. Like, you find teeth, scales, all that, stuff.
So you get a tooth. Is it literally that tooth that you got, or is it something that looks similar to it?
Something similar. There's some weapons, there's bone weapons that are, like, literally fashioned from giant bones.
Like you can tell it was the bone you got.
It was a bone. You don't literally, pick up a bone and, haul off, walking with a giant, monster bone. But you pick up bones, you pick up scales, you pick up teeth, you pick up feathers. And you can walk around and you can not necessarily farm, but if there's herbs, because herbs will heal you. If there's giant rocks, you can pick up certain rocks, which are whetstones, like I was saying earlier. If you attack, your weapon will get dull. It becomes dull, it's harder to kill things. So you have to keep whetstones on you to constantly keep your blade sharpened. And you can switch on the fly with either, you hold the left bumper and then hit Y or A to shift back and forth, or you can go to the tablet controller and do it through there.
Special powers, or you're upgrading one weapon that's a hack slash?
There's like 5 different weapon models. You have a 2-handed greatsword, kind of like a katana, 2
Hama?
Yeah, the giant hammers you can use. They have kind of like small dual blades. And that's really about it.
Does it look like a DMC or God of War third-person hack and slash type view?
That's the one thing I didn't care much about. The way that the camera works is you have your right stick on the pad, and it doesn't, like, it's not a free-flowing camera. Like, if you go up or down, it clicks. Like, you have 3 clicks in and 3 clicks out for how far, but it'll spin in 360 degrees, so you can see all around your character, but there's no, like, pan up, pan back. It's literally, you hit up, it'll click in once.
Almost
hit up
like-
again, click in again.
Almost like Mario 64.
Yeah, it literally has a Mario 64 camera.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and that's probably the worst part for me, because the monsters are, like I said, you don't lock on. So, like, you're attacking one, and he jumps and starts running. You have to whip the camera around, because there's literally no lock on, and then you have to go back and you have to pretty much aim your character and start attacking. And if you hit him, he jumps again. You finish your combo out, turn around, run back at him.
So you're not very far in it. You said a few hours. What is the storyline? Do you know?
I don't know the bigger picture yet. Like I said, you're a hunter in a town right now with a giant, pretty much sea serpent that is terrorizing it, and you're helping rebuild the town, essentially. And then once you get that far, you're probably just going to go fight it.
Are you going to let anybody in your world?
Yeah, I'm actually, a couple of my friends have Wii U's, not many people I know have Wii U's, and I'm waiting for them to get it so I can play with them. I got it for, like I said, $30, so...
It sounds like we were all starting pretty major games, like just at the beginning of all of them. He's a couple hours into Sanctum 2, I'm quite a few hours into Guild Wars 2, actually.
You've been playing it for days.
Yeah.
It's all you've been talking about.
It's an MMO.
It's an MMO.
Does it have cross-platform, like can 3DS players play
I've
with
heard that. I've heard that the 3DS one will work. Because I know the Wii U and the 3DS are pretty much interchangeable. You can play a lot of stuff similar. The marketplaces are all connected. But I'm not 100% sure. I have a 3DS, but I'm not buying the game twice just to double-check that feature.
Well, and that would be cool if you could actually take it with you. So,
See, yeah.
like, yeah, if you could play it on the Wii U and get all that cool stuff, but then also, if you're like, oh crap, I got a business trip or I got a long car
go do
ride,
something.
I can literally pick it up where it left off on your 3DS.
Get a Vita.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
That's
The Vita PS4. What is the point, or what is the advantage to having someone come into your world? Just multiplayer, more fun?
Yeah, I mean, help. Because when I played it on PlayStation 2, I got far enough where there was literal monsters that were too big for me to kill. I could hack at them for 30 minutes and not do anything. So you need... I would assume this one would probably be the same thing. I mean, there's going to be giant monsters that it's going to take a group of people to take down.
That's good and bad, I guess. Because what if you're a loser and have no friends?
I'm sure there's a way to do it.
There's sure a way to do it.
Take a few days.
Yeah. Just sit there hack at it
Monster
for
Hunter Day
weeks.
site.
Thumb falls off.
It's fun though. If I bought it for the $60 it was, I don't think I would be as happy. I got it, like I said, I got it for $35. I can't really complain.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so if you can get it for cheap, get Monster Hunter 3 for the Wii U or the 3DS. And if someone out there is playing it, tell us if you can do the cross-connectivity between the Wii U and the 3DS, because we would like to know as well, since it's too cheap.
Yeah.
So I didn't plug the website and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
We can do that at the end.
Okay.
You're jumping.
You're jumping.
We're in our little area right now.
Yeah,
We'll
stay
wait
in the
for
area.
that later.
I have to ask you, Eric. He already said it was okay. Jacob did. Are you ever going to play Last of Us? Do you have a PS3?
We
I
spoke
don't
about
have a
this.
PS3.
We actually spoke about this earlier today.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna.
I want to. I know someone who has a PS. My sister's dating a guy with The Last of Us and a PS3. He's a bit possessive of it, but I think when he comes over, as long as he's not in the room backseat gaming like he was with Metal Gear Solid 2 for the first time ever,
I know some assholes that backseat game.
I do backseat game.
then I'm,
I really do.
I'm thrilled to play it. That's,
Okay, I will try not to spoil any of it then. So we won't. I beat Last of Us, Justin. I beat it. I'm probably like many people. I really liked the ending, but I was confused about the ending and don't know how I feel about the ending all at the same time.
Should we go outside?
Just
No.
give me a hand signal and I'll go.
I don't know.
I don't. It's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, if we told you the ending, you're not really. I mean, you'll get it, but you won't because of the character development as you
Right.
play.
Right.
That you get between Joel and
Ellie.
I want to say Ellie. You're not gonna. It'll probably just be like, oh, that's really the ending, and that's it. It's what you get on your way to that.
The 20 hours that we've seen them
Right.
grow together, and the things that they've endured, well, the things that all three of you have endured because you've gone through this journey with them, you're like, whoa, you know, and I don't know how I feel about it. You know, I was a little bit mad. It felt a little lackluster, but it was a very fit ending. I don't know where the DLC is going to go.
Which we talked about, and like I said, it could be the 20 years, because the game has a 20-year span. In the beginning, it happens, and then it cuts, and then it goes 20 years later, and then...
After basically the apocalypse. So when you're walking around the cities and you're seeing everything's, you know, deteriorated and destroyed, it seems more realistic that this has been going on for 2 decades. So that's why these buildings are falling down. That's why the grass is, you know, grown everywhere and stuff.
That's pretty smart. Naughty Dog has given themselves 20 years to make prequels.
Well, I don't know if they'll have prequels per se, because the game kind of does have I mean, I don't think there's going to be a Last of Us 2. I mean, I know the game has sold super well and everything, but
there will.
I think there could be, and it's hard for me to kind of explain it without spoiling the end, which we can kind of talk about later. They could go, I thought a couple ways they could go, 2 or 3 different ways they could go.
We'll have to talk about that, or we can talk about another podcast once he's beat it or something.
It could also be a parallel storyline.
Other people,
city,
Bob and Jill are off doing this in one of their cities.
The thing is, too, is if they did that, there'd be no crossing. Like, they would never see Joel. They would never see, because you meet a couple people in the game, they could do something about Bob, where Bob's at.
I want to be Bill.
Bill, that's what I meant. Not Bob.
I was thinking that the other night. I thought of Enslaved, because you didn't ever beat it and you didn't play Piggy, and on the whole time I'm thinking, oh shit, we can have Bill's story, and you can do his stuff and everything around his town, and maybe he's got to collect parts or something before Ellie and Joel get there, or after they leave, you could do his stuff as well. You could also do Sam and his brother. You could do their stuff up to that point before they meet them, so that would be kind of cool.
Even Joel's brother, you could do when Tommy. They split, and then what Tommy's been doing and what he's been enduring.
Yeah, because I really liked his area. That is probably one of the best areas of the game is that.
I'm sure every listener's like, these guys are assholes. We have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, probably.
Is Naughty Dog owned by anybody?
I have no idea, to be honest. I think Naughty Dog...
I don't think
they if not, they're heavily endorsed by Sony, because all Uncharted's on PS3 only.
Right.
But with as well as it's sold, with as well as it's been reviewed, it has to have a sequel. Especially if they're owned by somebody else.
True. They wouldn't have to have a sequel. They could, like I said, they could do a prequel. They could do a lot of stuff.
But there's going to be another Last of Us.
I don't know anything about the game, but I have been exposed to the game on the internet a lot. And my thing was, okay, I'm going to look into Naughty Dog. Because I was like, obviously these guys are wicked. And I was like, oh snap, they did Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted. Okay. But I don't know if they will... If they're going to do the traditional thing, they may not do a sequel, because it could be the last of the PS3 games. Because then they move on to PS4 with a new IP. That's what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
And what you guys are describing would probably be really good DLC at this point. And also, as far as ownership...
They're owned by Sony.
Are they owned by Sony?
Yep.
Well, because I thought Insomniac was too, but I know they're not, because now they're developing a game for Xbox.
Well, then that puts extra pressure on. Sony could probably tell them, you have to make a sequel now.
Yeah, I mean, the higher-ups could say, we made a lot of money on this, make me another game in that universe. It may not be The Last of Us 2. They've created a incredible world, a very unique post-apocalyptic world that is very different than anything else. They could create another game within that universe.
Oh, definitely.
That would be neat.
It could be like what happens in movies. The movie sells like if Pacific Rim sells really well, they could say, well, we're going to do that again, but you guys aren't allowed to do it. The guys who do the original and give it to another company, or...
Sure.
Like what happened to Spyro.
So we're going to we're going to probably come back to Last of Us again, maybe talk more about the multiplayer, some if we ever get to play it, but we're going to come back to Deadpool I also want to talk about real quick, because I wholeheartedly disagree with Justin's preview of this game earlier. Just to rehash a little bit of it. The interactives in the apartment were very funny. Justin had that right on the head. The graphics are pretty solid, we've talked about, and everything. It goes into the history of Deadpool, and it talks about all that stuff. He talked about all the upgrades, which is a little bit overwhelming. There are upgrades for everything in the game, but I think that's the only way that it lends replayability to the game is the upgrades. You want to play it through after you beat it to get more upgrades to see how badass he can become. But here's my point is, I think Justin was on crack when he was playing this game, because I feel like the controls are very solid. I mean, was he wicked fast? No, but he seemed fast enough. He moved well for me.
Here's my rebuttal for that. He is a master assassin, which he is a master of martial arts. He should be crazy fast. He has to be crazy fast.
Okay, again, I know nothing about this game, but I know about Deadpool, and I'm assuming you're coming from like a comic book fan perspective, someone who actually has read the comics instead of just played it. And also, if you're going to play that card, Sonic the Hedgehog should also be pretty much unplayable because
not necessarily. And like I said, I'm not a giant fanboy comic book fanboy when it comes to Deadpool. It's just what I've read about him, and with the ability to teleport, he should basically be unstoppable, and he's not. And that's the kind of thing I think it's weird. And again, Imps and I argue this, not necessarily argue, but we had a debate, because Activision helped make this game. It was Activision High Moon Studios, and Activision did the Wolverine game, and you and I have both agreed that it was amazing. The combat was amazing, and I think that's what I was looking for when I played the game. I looked for that combat, and I didn't get it, and that's where I kind of feel that I said the controls sucked, and I probably should have reiterated the controls aren't bad. He is just slow. I don't feel the combos flowed as well as much saying the controls were bad.
I'm glad that you brought up the Wolverine game, because that is the standard for the comic book movie kind of game. I mean, although the Batman games are fantastic as well, maybe I guess we should say on the Marvel end of it, the Wolverine game is by far the standard, and it's a high standard to reach. And is Deadpool as good as that game? Of course not. It's not even close. But I think that it is a little bit below a DMC or below the Wolverine game, but I think it's very solid. I mean, it's nowhere near as terrible as like the Iron Man games or the Thor games.
And that's the thing, is I won't say it's a bad game. I just expected more out of the combat.
Maybe you just suck at playing it.
Hey, I got crazy combos in that game all day.
I know.
I didn't die in it. I never actually died when I played. I never was actually killed.
So does that mean it's too easy?
There are difficulty settings.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, is I would almost die, but he heals, so I would just run away real quick. Like, if I was on the verge of death, I would just run away.
I hate regenerating health.
Well, that's his power.
Oh, okay. If it's a power.
That's Deadpool's main power. That's his actual only power, is he has regeneration abilities like Wolverine.
All right.
I thought it was kind of cool, like when you fall, if you fall on accident, you just hit B and he teleports back up to his kind of semi-checkpoint. I thought that was kind of neat. I don't know what the heck I put there. Star Wars... Oh, the Star Wars Scream. They have it in there. The Willem laugh, which became known as the Star...
The Wilhelm Scream?
Yeah, the Wilhelm Scream. That's in there. I thought that was kind of cool. I like this. You never talk about the momentum you get as you get so many high combo. You get a momentum, and then you have a special attack, which I thought was kind of neat. And I felt that the combos and the momentum and the teleporting, I was okay at it. I mean, I would run up, I would hit a hack and slash, there'd be a guy behind me, and then a B button would pop up over his head, like you would do a counter in Batman, and you hit the B button, and I would teleport behind him, and I would keep hack slashing, and then another guy would come up, and he'd be out here to hit me, and I'd hit B, and I would teleport behind him and an attack. I felt like it was pretty fluid. I was moving all over the place doing that. If you want to shoot, I felt there were no problem with the shooting mechanics. I hit the right trigger, the reticle comes up. I thought it was going to be weird the way you explained it. I thought it was going to go like into a first-person thing, or I was going to drop down and it was going to be like shoot behind cover Gears of War style or something. It just, a little tiny reticle comes up. It's really easy to switch, move the joystick, shoot them. I had no problems with it whatsoever.
One of the things in comic books is the teleporter screws up all the time. Does the teleporter screw up in the game?
Mm-mm.
Really?
It has so many charges, and one of the things you can upgrade...
You can do it 3 times.
You can do it 3 times in an evasive manner. You can upgrade it to 5 times. Here's kind of my thing, too, is that with the teleporter, and I understand, you can't give it to him, 100%. You can only teleport so much, but then if he falls off a building, if you teleport 1,000 times, then he immediately teleports. He can even teleport through a greater distance than what he can if you're just normally fighting.
Yeah. We're talking a lot about the teleporter because it is a main mechanic of it, and there are some flaws to it. You can't teleport through things, which I thought was stupid because that's one of the advantages of being able to teleport, right? So if I'm behind the counter here and there's a bad guy over there, I want to teleport through behind him to start attacking him. You hit the counter and stop, and he keeps shooting you, and that's kind of dumb. I didn't like that. But I felt that the teleporter mechanic was okay because he can't roll or dodge really, so that's kind of his dodge move, and it works okay. Is it perfect? No, there are some flaws to it, but it was okay.
Okay. Again, as someone who hasn't played the game, but at a design perspective, you're likening it to a dodge roll, but it's limited.
Yeah,
like in
it's limited.
a normal game, you can just dodge,
You can roll. You
yeah.
can roll constantly. This one, he'll literally be like, it's not charged yet.
Right.
You can dodge, and then you're stuck.
Okay, that kind
Wait a couple
sucks.
seconds, dodge, you're stuck.
Well, and I thought it was more of a, not so much a dodge as it was like just a gameplay style that you could do, almost like in Devil May Cry 3.
It's kind of both.
It's both, yeah.
But now, he mentioned how in the comics it would malfunction.
A lot.
It'd be cool if, like, that would be part of the difficulty setting. I'm not a big fan of, like, difficulty settings that just kind of make enemies harder. But if it actually changed that up to where it's like a risk, but then there's a bigger payoff, like you can almost do like a critical strike if it works, or
that would be unique to it.
There was one comic, I think, or he was surrounded by bad guys in one of the comics, and he teleported, and he just actually teleported up and fell back down around the bad guys.
That's funny.
But the one thing I wanted to ask was, do you think if a sequel came out, it would be really good? If they fixed all the flaws, made the combat a little...
If it played like Batman, because it kind of has the Batman feel, like you did explain. If it played like Batman, it would literally be the best superhero.
Because the story is great, it's so
Right.
funny. Some of the unique things that I wrote down is his theme music. The music is great in it. There's one part where you beat like a little section of it, and there's no real like stopping point, or it kind of flows. It really the pacing of it is really really nice because it just moves from sequence to sequence to sequence in the game. And there's one part where like you beat a mini boss and postcard picture comes up and it shows Deadpool. He's riding a tiger on a rainbow with his hot chick behind him holding this sword up, and it's hilarious. It's really awesome. There's one part he goes in there, it goes 8-bit because he wants to watch the whole first segment of the game over again, and so he replays it in fast forward motion, and it costs High Moon all this money. And so the guy calls him up and says, you blew our wad for the game, we're out of money, so you're gonna have to go to 8-bit. And so the game goes to 8-bit and all the graphics go horrible and it goes top view and it looks like an old Zelda game.
Nice.
And it's very unique for a budget title. I think you can't go wrong. I think I asked this question last time because it was my last question. Are the controls so broken that you couldn't beat it or play it? And I think that's far from the truth. Any last questions?
How long is it?
I don't know. I mean,
I played it
okay.
when I played it, and I would say I was about halfway through it. I played it for about 6-7 hours.
so if you could get 10 hours out of it, that's a pretty good value.
The other thing I wanted to ask, and spoilers, this is a warning because I want to know this, is Hydra in it? Because from the trailer, it looks like Hydra's possibly in it.
I the only bad guy I've seen is Sinister.
And he does make fun of it, like you fight Arclight. He's like, this is the best we could get? D-list villains? Oh, come on, I'm better than that.
He's got a weird rogue gallery.
Oh, one of the other things I forgot to mention, I guess I didn't write it down, is the same guy that does Uncharted, Nolan North, does the voice for Deadpool, and he does all three of the voices because he's schizophrenic, so he has three voices that talk all the time. Nolan North is doing his voice, but he's doing it with a weird accent, the Deadpool accent. He calls Nolan North in the very beginning of the game, and one thing we found was really cool is the conversation that my Deadpool had when I played it is different than the one that Justin experienced
Yeah.
when he played it.
What?
It was different, yeah. He basically hung up on him. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't care. And basically hung up on him.
And my guy actually talked to him or whatever and wanted to get him to, he's like, you got to do the voice for me. He goes, you're the biggest guy in gaming for doing voiceovers. And he goes, I want you to do the voiceover for me in my new video game. And it just, the banter that, these three Nolan North are talking to Nolan North. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. So there's a lot of uniqueness to it. And if you can pick it up for $30 or $40, this game, you cannot go wrong.
it's probably going to go on sale too because it's got a PC release.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So it's probably going to go on sale on Steam.
I got it for Xbox 360 because I'm an achievement whore. So, all right, well, let's take a break and then we'll come back to our second act.
That's there's another indie game that was actually pretty cool.
Dude, I forgot about Dead Space. Now I'm going to obsess about that again.
Dead Space 3. All right, welcome back to Act 2, 30 minutes of miscellaneous crap. I saw Lone Ranger. Do not waste your money ever. It was awful.
Sucks.
Yeah, the Lone Ranger was terrible. I didn't have to go see it. I wanted to see it. I thought it was going to be good. It was not.
Isn't that one of those movies that could have very easily made if they would have just put in a plot from the old TV series? It could have made a good movie very easily.
So that was my problem was I don't think I knew enough about it from the old TV series. I think it was made to cater to 60-year-old people because I think there was a lot of stuff that I missed that I didn't understand that the other people around me were enjoying because it was all purple heads in there. That's what I call old people because they got purple hair because they get the dye jobs and it messes up. Purple heads. That's what I call old people.
Okay.
It's polite because they don't understand what I'm saying or they're deaf. So they're all kind of getting it or they're laughing at points that I don't think are funny or whatever, so I think there were a lot of throwbacks to the old show. And the thing that kind of ruined it for me was, one, the way that they do the pacing of the story is awful. It starts off in like 1930s, and this kid is dressed up as Lone Ranger, and he's walking through a fair, carnival thing, and he sees Tonto as like a 100-year-old man, and then Tonto starts telling him the story, but he starts the story in the middle, and then it jumps back to the kid, and then it starts the story over again, and I'm just like, come on. And I see what they're trying to do. They were trying to go like the Princess Bride route with it, but it did not work out very well at all. Are you asleep?
No.
What are you doing?
Any business?
What are you doing?
Just talk.
I'm confused. So, and the other part of the thing that really was awful about the movie, the other thing that was awful about the movie was, I swear, for the last 30 minutes of the movie, they played the Lone Ranger theme song. And I could do that. I could do that for our 30 minutes of miscellaneous crap, and you just saw the end of Lone Ranger. Will you fix your sunglasses?
Nope.
You know what they say, Justin?
What?
The only two people that wear sunglasses indoors are blind people and douchebags.
Assholes. Yeah. They're polarized, and I was just leaning, and like the computer screen goes black, so I was like,
Justin is not blind.
You guys don't know that. Don't know that at all.
I do.
The thing that Lone Ranger is getting so much crap for on the internet is I guess he takes the mask off.
Oh, all the time.
He never did in the TV show.
Well, he's the shitty brother, and he suddenly becomes a badass like halfway through the movie because he's a spirit walker. I don't know. The movie's awful.
The one thing I heard that, I mean, I can understand the whole throwback stuff because that's what's all the rage right now. Everything's throwing back. But the one thing that I heard from the other nitpickers is that the Indian wasn't an Indian. It was Johnny Depp. Tonto.
That is weird.
Because they wanted, I don't know. And the fact that they gave Johnny Depp top billing was a little bit much, I think. They were trying to sell it with Johnny Depp.
Well, he's hot right now.
Yeah, I know. And it's...
But he's not an Indian.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Is he British in the movie?
No.
Does he have the accent?
No, he's probably doing the whole mo licky licky, unicky snip snip, friggin' Pirates of the Caribbean 2 stuff.
Kind of. It's weird. But I did just get back from Pacific Rim, which I really enjoyed.
Okay, thank God.
It is... You can't go into it with any expectations than it's giant robots fighting giant monsters.
What do you mean you can't go into it?
That's all it is.
You can't worry about
That's like saying Crank 2 was an awesome movie because there was a Godzilla scene in it.
Is there?
But no,
Yes.
like,
That's awesome.
If
It was awesome.
If you're
I will say
going
that
in
much.
expecting something besides
Giant monsters.
robots and monsters,
It's very much like going into the Expendables expecting a plot-driven movie. Expendables is not a plot-driven movie, but it was a pretty cool movie.
Exactly. This is not a plot-driven movie. The acting is terrible. It's all the terrible cliches you can imagine, but it's giant, badass robots fighting giant monster aliens.
So is it the Expendables of giant robot movies?
I guess. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
see, every time I saw a screen from it, I haven't seen it yet. I want to so bad. I'll probably end up watching it somehow tonight later, not saying how.
You're going to the theater.
No.
You're going to the theater.
Yeah, okay.
Home theater.
No, exactly. I have access to all sorts of... No, but every time I saw a still from it, I got excited. I heard about it first because it has Ellen... friggin' Gladys.
It's only in
Yeah.
the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
No, she's in. She says like 2 or 3 lines in it. GLaDOS.
He said it was only in the trailer.
No. There's a couple times
Change your
where
mind.
she has like one of the only funny lines in the whole thing. She's like, "It's are you okay?" or something like that. It's one of the lines from Portal.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was exactly, but I was like, "Oh, there it is. There's GLaDOS."
Well, and that's the first time I heard about it, but I also...
GLaDOS?
GLaDOS, whatever.
Gladys.
Gladys.
Yeah, exactly. But my big thing is, and this is probably something where I'm unique in, I got excited because it was like aliens from the ocean. I happen to have I like Aquaman.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's not from the ocean.
Okay, well, whatever.
That's where their portal is.
Oh, well, that's...
Did you just spoil it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't...
You just spoil it?
A little bit.
I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
There's a portal in the ocean.
Okay,
that's coming.
Portal.
See where I was going?
Yeah.
Orange. The other side's blue.
Yeah, from the moon.
It actually kind of was blue. It was a little bit
Plot
blue.
twist, it's a sequel to Portal 2.
That'd be awesome.
I don't want to spoil Portal 2.
I beat it.
Oh, have you seen the previews for Sharknado from the Sci-Fi Channel?
Dear God.
I'm so watching that this Thursday.
No.
It's a tornado that picks up sharks.
Oh, good God.
And you know who stars in it? Tara Reid. She has fallen so far from grace.
Pepperoni nipples.
Sharknado. I'm so excited.
For that.
What is she even in?
Van Wilder, Alone in the Dark.
Jeez.
That's
just
really about it.
She's just
No,
hot.
she was in the American Pie movies. That's where she got her start.
She's the main girl in American Pie. Well,
Okay.
I always consider the band or the main one. But
Yeah, she's the main one for
she's one of the main ones.
She's the one that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And that's real quick because I wanted to mention this because I actually follow these guys. I don't know if you guys know JonTron, Egoraptor, or Total Biscuit, the cynical Brit.
Is that English?
I've heard JonTron.
John.
They're all users. They're all YouTube gamer dudes.
Oh,
right?
cool.
They actually had this huge advertisement thing that they did a video where it's Dodger, who she's the girl gamer stereotype chick. She does a bunch of podcasts and stuff. And Total Biscuit, who is he's the cynical Brit, he reviews games, and they're piloting Jaeger. And then there's JonTron and Egoraptor, who they started something called Game Grumps, which they just play games and it's hilarious or something. And they basically had a whole bunch of gamers come in and they really hyped it up for me, honestly, because with the cameo with Gladys and this whole game, is there any references to video games at all?
Not really. You just have to go into it. It's giant robots fighting giant dinosaur alien things.
Well, and that's the other one was in every single advertisement they did today we're taking back the apocalypse or whatever. They used that line in every trailer. Was that as cheesy and hilarious as I'm hoping it was?
It was ridiculous.
Okay.
Was it basically Independence Day with giant robots?
Kind of, yeah.
Jesus.
See, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with stupid movies for the most part. I get flagged for not liking the Transformers movies because they tried to make it plot driven, but if it wasn't, I'd probably like it a whole lot more.
And you don't want to watch Sharknado?
No, I do.
That's like
It's the
watching
stupidest idea ever.
Frankenfish was awesome. I love those terrible movies.
like sci-fi movies?
Birdemic.
No, I
Okay,
don't.
at least I'm not. I hate those movies.
My dad watches them every fucking time they're
Oh
on.
my god, that's about as bad as the Transmorphers and all that stuff.
Yep, every little B movie spinoff.
Did you just
every
trash
big
talk
one.
Animorphs? Oh no.
Transmorphers.
Okay.
Stop
Transmorphers
supporting
was
crap.
sci-fi's answer to
It
Transformers.
wasn't sci-fi. It was just Asylum, I think.
I don't know, whoever made it, it was basically a shitty.
Every time a big movie comes out, they make
A knockoff.
yeah.
You watch Teen Wolf?
No.
So I'm watching the newest Teen Wolf. I'm not going to spoil too much of it here for you.
This is bullshit.
So they're going to...
No one here wants to talk about it. Just gonna throw that out. No one here.
So
Stop.
in Teen Wolf, they have to go. They're all on a track team. The lacrosse coach makes them do cross country. So they're going to a cross country meet, and it gets delayed. So they stop at the bus stops, and they go to a hotel for the night. And the coach yells at them, no sex, this and stuff anyways. And the only thing I'm going to say is, we were talking about how gay it was or whatever to watch Teen Wolf for Justin and I. This MTV and Teen Wolf is pushing the gay meter hardcore. There is a full guy-on-guy action thing. It's crazy. There's two dudes laying there, half naked.
Why are you so excited to do this?
And they're making out and stuff, and the one dude's kissing on the chest or whatever, and I'm just MTV is going this far. I mean,
They really enjoyed that.
It was was semi porn, gay porn on normal TV.
This guy over here is trying to make me watch this show, and now I'm definitely not going to watch it.
I cannot.
Homophobe? You like gay people?
I just don't want to see it.
No,
You're homophobe?
I thought it was incredible that they would push the envelope this.
As a unbiased person, like my family watches like Bones, and we watch House all the time, and they push the lesbian thing pretty far in those.
Yeah, House had with 13, she was a lesbian.
And then the face reconstruction chick in Bones, Angela, she had like a lesbian girlfriend.
MTV has pushed it for a while because there was a British TV show called The In-Betweeners, and obviously, the BBC doesn't really restrict on like cussing or anything like that. And what was it? And any other content when it comes to like sexuality, that show got canceled because it was too graphic. Skins, which is a really big British drama, which is all basically about teenagers pretty much fucking and doing drugs the whole time. England really big. Here they tried an American version of it. It was absolute shit, and it pushed the graphicness. It got canceled like after like 3 episodes. Parents were bitching so much about it.
I was just very impressed that MTV was doing that. Not that I got my jollies off of it, Jacob, because you're a homophobe, but I just thought...
You can be gay, that's fine, but I don't condemn you for it.
Yeah. If we have any gay listeners, we apologize for Jacob and his bigotry. He's giving me a death stare. That's funny.
Some of my family won't talk to me because I support gays.
Oh, that's good. Good.
You won't support them on TV, though.
I just don't want to have to see it. It's a private thing.
It might
Here's
make
my
you,
thing.
It might make you a little uncomfortable. You definitely shouldn't watch the show.
Maybe they don't like when a man kisses a woman. If they, you know what I mean?
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't like when people kiss in front of me.
Yeah, I'm not a big kissing guy.
Yeah.
See, I can understand like television broadcasting in that respect when it's like a focus, because not too long ago, like ABC Family was airing like a Disney marathon with like Mulan and Peter Pan and stuff like that. I'm sitting here enjoying some classic Disney tunes, and ABC Family presents The Fosters, and it's like super emphasis on like this lesbian family adopting kids, and like any kid watching this with, like, say I had kids.
By the way, I'm gonna interject right there. There's a cartoon that comes on Disney, and it's about a kid that puts on girls' clothes and becomes a superhero. He cross dresses, and he gets superhuman powers.
Did you see that the guy that plays Peter Parker in the new Spider-Man said he would have no problem with Mary Jane being a dude?
That's kind of weird.
If he was gay.
See, that's the thing, like, it's not canon. Don't change it.
They never will be. Like, there's no movie that'll be canon.
Just because it's the hot thing right now. That irritates me.
So being gay is the hot thing right now?
Because all the...
Are you coming out?
No, gender bend.
Are you a self-hating gay?
Yeah, the gender bending thing, all there always has to be a gay character in everything.
Self-hating gay should
It
be the name of
used
the
to be
episode.
that there has to be a black guy in everything. Now there has to be a gay guy in everything.
You're racist too? Jesus, we're going everywhere this episode.
Okay, so there seems to be this end thing, and it doesn't have to do with sexuality so much, but there is a gender bend hype going on.
They're using gays to get ratings. That's what I'm saying.
That's like, because I'm a huge fan of Sherlock, the BBC. So
yeah, the great
show
one.
Sherlock, and obviously there's a lot of like shipping in the fandom, like, oh, John and Sherlock are gay, and there's all sorts of jokes in the BBC show. But then Americans went and say, hey, this is really popular. Can we do an American version of it? He said, hell no, and they did anyway. But it wasn't actually a parallel. They made Elementary,
which is fantastic,
and they turned
Watson into a female. I watch both of them. Has Benedict Cumberbatch. He's the Sherlock Holmes.
But that's one thing that's really popular in our culture right now is the male-woman duo. I mean, you got Bones,
right.
Castle, Elementary. It's always a girl and a guy now. Well, for the most part, it's very popular.
That
Too,
might
like
be
the
because,
Mentalist and stuff like that.
I think that might be because of like bigotry. I'm not going to lie. I think people are more comfortable with the dynamic. And if you watch BBC Sherlock, there is this almost weird weird
tension
that you just don't get when it's a guy and a girl.
See, I didn't feel that when I watched it. Like, the way that Sherlock portrays himself is kind of like how Johnny Lee Miller is like. But you know, Johnny Lee Miller has that weird, like, he does drugs and wants to have sex. Like, all he thinks about is his work. Like, he literally doesn't know that there's other planets besides Earth. Like, he just filters out every other bit of bullshit.
Which is a Sherlock thing. That's actually in the books, too. But I'm not saying that there was a tension between them. It was a different dynamic that I think people are not used to. And the only reason that people who are fanboying and fangirling over it are either because they're shipping them, they're putting them together in friggin' gay fantasy land, or they're like, they're already British TV fans, like Doctor Who, Whovians or whatever it is. I found it because a friend of mine is kind of like Sherlock in a weird way. He's kind of, he's the asshole, and like in my circle of friends, and or my old friends in Michigan, and he's like, check out the show Sherlock. And at the time I wasn't really big into it. I don't watch TV. I'm a cartoon guy for the most part. Like,
well, the BBC versions, it's not that it's hard to watch. Is an episode is a movie. It is an hour and a half.
But there are only 3 episodes per season.
Yeah,
but it's so good. Like,
I watched Copper.
That's pretty good.
I haven't watched Copper. I wanted to. There's a lot. I watch a lot of BBC. I watch a lot of fucking
Their
BBC.
stuff's generally better.
Oh, yeah, it's way better.
Even their crappy shows are better than our good shows.
So I want to just reiterate that all of this wonderful conversation came from Teen Wolf.
Bigotry.
All right, so tell me about Macklemore.
See, another reason why Macklemore is very pro-gay. He even has a song called Same Love that he says, no freedom until we're all equal.
What's Macklemore?
He is a rapper from Seattle. He is the best thing that ever come out of rap. Not banging on the table.
Is he the thrift shop?
Yes, he did Thrift Shop, Can't Hold Us.
Like Sublime Pawn Shop?
I don't know. I listen to like video.
Listen to Thrift Shop.
I listen to Thrift Shop. I don't.
It's not.
Is that the thing you made me listen to?
It was an 8-bit version.
I'm gonna pop some tag.
But it's not just about thrift shopping. It's about consumerism. Just like he has a song called Wings that's about consumerism. We are what we wear and we wear what we are. He's very conscious with his raps. He has a song called Other Side that's all about drugs and cough syrup and stuff and how bad it is.
So he's Bob Dylan?
I'm going to interject in Thrift Shop is not about consumerism. It's about being a fucking hipster. That's exactly what that song's about.
Okay, no, it's true because there was a Ask Reddit, because I'm a Redditor for the most part, and it's like, owners of thrift shops, have you had people come in and like do this, or how has been owning a thrift shop since that song came out? It's like, it's pretty much the same, except we get a bunch of people peeing on their blankets now and bringing them in, thinking that they're joking, but they're like, well, I hope they're joking, but honestly, I don't know. To me, it's just another goof. It's goofy.
It's a goofy song, but he has a hell of a lot more meaning than the rest of the rappers out there.
Is that why you're telling us this?
He has excellent music. He has excellent lyrics. He's just an all-around good person. He's a nice thing to see come out of rap.
I've never heard him before,
white?
but I don't listen to music, so.
Right.
Oh man, another racist here.
No,
Is he white?
A
Is he
nice
white?
guy,
Yes, he's a
white
white guy.
rapper is white. Like, I'm not saying that all
Eminem's
black guys
not a nice guy.
Oh my god, we're gonna get so much hate mail over this episode.
No, but it's.
But rap music is pretty much all they do is talk shit to each other.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He goes out of his way to not talk shit. There was a video of him crowd walking, like he's walking on the crowd, and you know what? It was Method Man or Redman was like, dude, I like Macklemore, but that's my move. You guys should drop him next time. He's really good. Like, what kind of a moron are you to say he's really good? You should drop him next time he does that.
It's part of the game.
But Macklemore hasn't said anything. He just.
You like wrestling?
What does that have to do with anything?
You're ranting to rant. Like, who cares?
He's a good rapper.
Okay, Macklemore's a good rapper. Random games of the week time, because we only got a few minutes left, gentlemen. So tell me about Luigi's Mansion 2.
Fun. I never played the original. I never was a big game.
So what type of game is Luigi's Mansion 2?
I don't know how you would describe it besides like platforming, I guess.
It's not. It's
What's
like, I would almost say like Nintendo's take on horror survival. But
Yeah, it really is.
You play as Luigi.
You play as Luigi, and like I said, I never played the first one, but I guess there's a professor that pretty much gives you all these tools to help you pretty much become a Ghostbuster. Essentially, is what you are.
They-
Oh no, go ahead. If you can help,
like basically from everyone I've heard, both Luigi's Mansion's games are basically the Ghostbuster games done right. Like if you want to play a Ghostbusters game and like play it and have fun,
I love the new Ghostbusters game.
do you? Okay.
Don't say new.
That's not a.
It's not new. That thing is old.
5
as
years
shit.
old or whatever.
I got all the way to the last guy. You can't jump at the game. It's stupid.
But it's
You're
honestly,
stupid.
it's just fun. It's a
It
Nintendo
really is
thing.
fun.
3DS?
3DS.
Yep.
You pretty much have a vacuum on your back, and it has like crazy amount of power. Like you can rip stuff off walls. It sucks up gold bars, so
So does this game suck?
Yo,
it blows. Because there's a blow feature.
Oh,
it sucks almost
Mega
as
Man
much
suck
as-
to blow.
Leave it at that. Mega Man.
Spaceballs?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I know.
I got that.
I've heard it before. I didn't click.
I would
I've
fire
seen it.
both of you from the podcast.
Oh, guess.
Project X Zone.
Oh snap.
I played the demo for it today.
Is it-
Pretty
is it-
fun. It was
On what?
3DS. I downloaded the demo. It's a Namco Bandai game, but it spans a lot of
Like Marvel vs. Capcom.
yeah. It has a lot of crossovers. Dante is in it. Ken and Ryu.
Morgan.
Morgan, Darkstalker characters. There's a lot of people in it.
The big thing though is mostly because I'm kind of an ambassador Mega Man fan. I'm not really huge into Mega Man games, but I understand that like they've been looking for a Mega Man game for forever, and Mega Man X and Zero were in this, which I guess they were in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or at least there was DLC for it.
Zero is
Yeah, but
the
then you got a Mega Man DLC.
skin. You got a Mega Man skin.
And that's people are like looking for a new Mega Man game, and that's pretty much where I heard about it. And it's like almost like a turn-based strategy thing.
It plays kind of like tactics. You do the chess kind of like there's so many people in a turn. And on the bottom screen, it tells you who, the turn order 1, 2, 3, however many people there are. And the way you walk is you only have so many, squares you can move. If you're next to an ally, you can, pretty much summon that ally into your fight. You can, punch, attack, all these different types of attacks.
Does everybody have different attacks because they're
Everyone
different?
has different attacks, and everyone has different, strengths and weaknesses. Ryu and Ken are a team. X and Zero are a team. With each people they have a team. Who else is in there? Frank West is in it, but Frank West from Dead Rising is compared with the girl from Darkstalker, Sasenko or whatever her name is. That's that pair. There's a lot. Shining Force, Tales of Vesperia, Tekken.
You're playing all these on the 3DS because you were sitting there bored getting your tattoo?
Well, my wife was getting tattooed. I watched Evo when I was getting tattooed.
What did she get?
A flower on her back.
Cool.
Pretty bitchin'.
So from what I've seen, it's basically like tactics meets Marvel vs. Capcom.
Now, what was this
Essentially, yeah.
Big O you mentioned?
Big O is an anime, and basically what he is, it's the Japanese Batman. And when I say this, rich guy, has a butler that helps him do everything, but instead of being, a mass crime fighter, he summons this thing called the Megaduce, and it's a giant robot. He fights giant monsters that come from the sea.
So it's
And other robots. And pretty much every move he uses supposedly is in Pacific Rim. Like the rocket punch is the same thing, because the way Big O is made, he kind of looks like Popeye. He has really thin biceps, but these giant forearms, and there's a giant piston that comes out, and when he punches and it hits, that piston will come and hit the elbow and pretty much blast anything out of it. So the rocket punch from that is basically the same.
I think they call it the elbow punch.
Elbow rocket or whatever they call it. I saw in a preview when I was watching.
He doesn't yell rocket, though. He doesn't yell rocket. I think he's elbow punch. He comes back and he's like, elbow thrust or something like that, and hits it.
Yeah, and the elbow, the thruster actually opens up, and the same thing in Big O, like the giant piston comes out.
So they call out their moves in Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to see this now. Like, it's even better. I love, like, if it's intentionally trying to be cheesy.
It is. It is intentionally trying to be cheesy, and that's what a few of the people I've heard some negative things about. They were were just.
I love cheese. I love cheese in a movie.
Yeah, they thought it was gonna be serious or whatever, and they thought there was gonna be a storyline, a plot.
Is
like
this
it's giant robots versus aliens.
is this our generation Star Wars?
Oh God, don't say that.
What?
That's what one of the commercials or whatever. This generation of Star Wars. That's dumb.
Really?
It's a bold claim.
It's a bold claim.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Star Wars sucks.
I'm gonna fire everybody, and this is gonna be a one-man podcast from now on.
Excuse me, I
Eric,
defend Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll defend it. It's a good.
Eric, finish. Tell me about Steam Summer Sale. What's on? I mean, by the time we post this, it won't be that stuff anymore. So.
Yeah. Honestly, like, they do put a lot of emphasis on indie games. There's the flash sales. I'm waiting until like Skyrim goes on sale again because it went on sale the first day, and I need to get the DLC because I'm on a Skyrim kick again. And
Fallout's on New Vegas.
Yeah,
Fallout
New
DLC
Vegas.
is on sale for $3.
yeah,
Arma 2's on sale for $8.
yeah, and that's again the best deal I've seen so far. The best deal I've seen so far was definitely like every single Tomb Raider game.
Isn't
$14.
RPG Maker like $26 or something?
It was, yeah.
It was really
Except-
cheap.
I messed around with RPG Maker on PS1, and like that's about it.
Game is complicated.
It's not even a game. It's for developers.
RPG Maker.
that
Can you even spell
don't-
complicated?
Yeah.
C-O-M.
And go.
And go.
COMPLICATED.
Oh, he got it.
Does
You
it
get a gold
sound
star.
excellent?
Why can't I spell complicated?
I can't spell complicated.
I was
I have to write it out. He's
I
just
know. I
fucking
just,
with you.
I just don't get why would I even bother.
because you said RPG Maker was complicated.
But that's
I didn't think it was.
yeah, the Steam though. Basically, I was waiting for Sanctum 2, and then the other game that I'm super stoked for to go on sale hopefully is Dusk and Elysian Tale, which is that it's an indie game, and by indie in the truest sense, it was one guy.
Yeah.
He made like this really wicked looking anthropomorphic side-scrolling hack and slash insanity friggin' looking game. It looks like a blast, and I love games like that. Like I love
Rogue Legacy. Waiting for that to go on sale.
my friend is obsessed with that. The same friend who plays Guild Wars.
Now, we'll go back to this. What was the game you just said?
Dust and Elysian Tale,
Dust,
and Dust and Elysian Tale.
Elysian Tale. So why don't you just pay full price to support this guy?
Because I'm broke.
Okay.
Like legitimately, I would, but
That's why I don't believe in like pirating things and stuff, because I want to support these people and give them my money
Definitely.
so they keep making things and stuff.
Well, okay. See,
Not everyone has a fancy job like you, though.
Yeah, I'm there too. I'm on a huge. I have like for gaming. I'm actually kind of developing a game right now in my own. It's
it.
tabletop.
Who works the next 10 days?
I work 10 days straight.
It's
I can change that for you.
Go for it.
but no. I'm huge into like to talk about piracy here real quick. I'm huge into this is going to be a pun in a way. I'm huge into merchant type stuff, which is really niche. I like Oblivion versus Skyrim because of like the more emphasis on mercantile stuff there. And I was looking for like a 16th century mercantile game, and the kind of like trade winds. And the best thing I could find was Port Royal 3, and it's set in like the Caribbean.
Do you like Tropico?
I haven't played Tropico.
I need to try that.
I think it went on sale too.
It did. It's
Or
kinda
at least
Weird.
went up for vote.
Both those two are just all they do is play PC stuff, and they're on that side of the table. We're console
my
gamers, and we
fault.
play on this side.
I'm broke. I would love to play console games, but I think the most recent console I have is the Wii, which says a lot. And but yeah. So I pirated Port Royal to try it out, and it was boring as all get out. So, and then I uninstalled it. That's if it was fun, because there's no demo. If there's no demo, I will pirate a game and play it a little bit. If I like it, I will buy it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I like demos.
Play Mount Your Friends if you ever get a chance.
Play what?
Mount Your Friends. It's one of Jacob's favorite games.
Look it up on our website.
No.
Look it up on our website.
Okay.
It's on there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've come to a conclusion. Thank you, Eric, for being our special guest this evening and filling in while Brad is eating food. And say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.